And West will play another Division I quarterfinal later this evening at 7 o'clock. Here's Craig now. Berlowski, foul, count it.
It's going to be a three-point basket, and he's going to go to the free throw line. We have a possibility of a four-point play.
Craig's first lead since a 2-0 start.
Here you see it. He squares up. Great rotation on the ball. He gets fouled in the act of shooting. We've got a four-point play possibility.
And you see some of the King faces. You probably don't see it on our high shots very much, but we're right down here on the court. King has this look like, wow, what's going on here?
Jay, it's March Madness, and anything can happen.
Berlowski 5 of 6 from the field, and most of those with a hand in his face. Craig now has a 19-16 lead, but the Generals turn that around in a hurry. Jackson, three-pointer. Miss. Diedrich rebounds for King.
Another one of those three-pointers that bounds high and long.
Curry. Miss. Here comes Craig. That's Crone. Oh, nice play by Ryan Crone.
You really got to admire Craig. They do not walk it up. They're going to get tapped when they get the rebound.
This place is buzzing. 21-16 Craig.
This is a nice little run for Janesville.
There's inside to McDuffie.
That's going to be a problem. So far, Craig handled it pretty well, though.
3-point lead for Craig. Kurt. Jackson rebounds for King. The Generals can cut it to 1. To get it ahead to Harrell. What a move!
Oh boy. Oh boy, that's a big league move.
Harrell averages 14 points. Jackson, Curry, and McDuffie get a lot of attention, but Harrell's a ball player.
Great little spin move. He caught the ball with one hand initially off the long pass, maneuvered in the air. He's a good player.
He's looking for his 5th point, is Jamie Harrell. If he makes the foul shot, we have a tie game again with 2:01 left. Steal. Foul. Engstrom fouled Harrell. Will go to the line.
That's what a coach would call a smart foul. There's a possibility there of a breakaway and a dunk at the end. And he made it look like he was going for the ball, and he's got a King player on the line, and that's one of the things they don't do very well. So it was a smart play.
And unless you're down here on the floor, you really don't realize how quick all these players are and how much is going on and how much you have to look out for.
You've got to protect the ball in this ball game.
Harrell now with 6 points, a 6-foot senior. Substitution for Craig, number 41, Jason Bresser. Replaces Ryan Crone.
So far, King's old nemesis of poor free throw shooting is not materializing. They're doing well.
Well, I tell you, they're banging underneath. Engstrom wiped out the whole crowd on that rebound. And now a turnover. Here come the Generals. Leading by 1. Jackson, 3, miss. Look at McDuffie's shot.
That's something. You force a three-point shot and you get an offensive rebound and you put it back up. You got to prevent King from put-back baskets.
Craig had a 5-point lead, but now King is up 3. Berlowski around Jackson. Berlowski gets it back. Over Curry. High up goes for King.
That was great effort on the part of Ben Berlowski. He could have just stood out there and shook his head, but he followed his shot, got the rebound, and took it strong to the basket again. I'll tell you, Janesville Craig is not backing down. King may be number 1, but they're going to make them prove it today.
A minute 10 left in the first half. King by 3. Jackson goes around Engstrom. Jackson rebounds.
one of those putback baskets. You've got to box that man out. It'd be interesting now to see if Craig wants to hold it for one or just work until they get a good shot.
Now Milwaukee King is on a 10-0 run. That's a three-pointer by Bresser. McDuffie rebound.
I think King's going to pull it out, Jay, and just play for the last shot. They do this almost every quarter that they've played in this year.
They have a 5-point advantage, 26-21.
Action will start with about 6 seconds on the clock. That's when they start trying to make something happen. Right about now.
Here we go. Diedrich. McDuffie, will he have time? Yeah. No, doesn't go in. But what a first half. Up and down. King by 5. The 77th annual WIAA Boys Basketball Championships will continue after these messages from our statewide sponsors, Rural Insurance Company, and the Wisconsin Milk Marketing Board. This is your WIAA network station. It's been a game of streaks, and at the end of the first half, Milwaukee King's streak has the Generals ahead 26-21. Bill Graff, both teams had the advantage for a good part of that first half, but the King explosion near the end of it put them ahead.
Well, it was, but I think if you're Coach Suter and the Craig players, being down 5 at this point is not a bad position to be in. One of the problems with King is they traditionally, all season long, their worst quarter of the ball games that they've been in has been the third quarter. They have trouble coming out after halftime and refocusing their efforts.
And one thing I think that we saw, too, is that if any team gets down by an appreciable amount, the other team can certainly get right back in it and come back.
Well, that's what teams have. If you can come back and answer runs, that shows your team has a lot of character.
All right, 2 more quarters to go, at least, as King has the lead at halftime. Now let's go to the other side and Chris Ross.
All right, thanks very much, Jay, and it's been just what we promised. Lots of excitement. 26-21, King at the break. You know, there's no doubt we're getting a chance to watch some special athletes here in the field house over the past couple of weeks. But some athletes never make it to Madison. Instead, they perform in their own special arena. You'll see what I mean in this next piece about the Wisconsin Special Olympics.
There are faces that
Brian Curry come up with the steal. He'll get it ahead to Harrell, and King is out 13-2.
Well, this is the time that Janesville had to overcome something.
And they had to overcome a little bit more, as the next play will show. Brian Curry right into your living room.
Here's one that makes everything rattle in here.
Then it was time for a Janesville Craig run. Ben Berlowski, who went out with 2 quick fouls, got back in the lineup, and he got hot.
That's a nice shot with somebody right on him.
And he wasn't the only Cougar to hit. Todd Helbing will come back with a jumper.
Nobody recovered in time to guard him, and he hit the open shot, which he had to at that point.
And then it was Berlowski again. Again, he's hitting most of these shots with someone right in his face.
That was a nice cut off of a screen. He squared up and hit the jumper.
Craig getting a contribution from another player as Rob Kurtz will hit a long one.
It's really great to see somebody come off the bench and hit a key shot like that and help his team out.
Okay, coverage of the 77th annual WIAA Boys State Basketball Championships continue after these messages from your local station. This is your WIAA network station.
You can always spot an Endress pier by its strength, safety, handsome redwood decking, and, of course, its beautiful construction. The Endress pier has modular decking to install easily, locking in place. So whether sunning, swimming, or boarding boats, the galvanized steel frames of the Endress pier can be adjusted to the perfect height. Endress piers are manufactured in Waunakee, Wisconsin, and sold directly from the factory.
I need a new car, but let me warn you, I'm fussy. I never did meet a man good enough to marry.
Uh-oh, I better handle this one. Ma'am, I'm Dick Inkster from Inkster Chevrolet Geo. We've got the finest selection in new and used cars and trucks, but our sales staff still follows the traditional values of quality service and respect for the customer.
Oh, take it, Dick. Say, you aren't married, are you?
George will take over from here.
The third quarter is underway. You haven't missed a thing. 26-21. Craig trailing. And as they scrap, Berlowski travels.
Well,
we checked the halftime stats, Bill. Bob Suter said he wanted to control King's inside kids, and Craig wouldn't back down. And those numbers say they've done a pretty good job in the first half.
I think the most important stat there is that 16-13 rebound edge. That is one thing that they were worried about, and they're doing a nice job. It's not out of control.
Harrell three.
But that was.
So very quickly, King has opened up an 8-point lead.
Well, and the key to it was a turnover on one end results in a 3-point conversion on the other end.
Now Craig has to find an answer. Pressure. Helbing. Backs off from Curry.
Watch him move. Watch the back pick. Come on, back.
Engstrom out high.
This is one thing that Craig did in the first half, too. They pulled their big guys out and posted up their perimeter people.
Engstrom with a left hand. Curry, rebound. King. WIAA State Tournament action is brought to you statewide by Marshfield Clinic, a national leader in medical care, research, and education.
One thing that Janesville is doing is they're getting back in their defensive transition very well.
Otto McDuffie with 9 points. Suddenly a 10-point lead.
It doesn't take long, Jay. Things happen in matters of seconds in this type of a game.
A 15-0 run for King. They've scored all 5 points in the third quarter. Craig in the same position it was in at the start of the first quarter when they fell behind 13-2. Here's Berlowski. Foul on Harrell.
Well, the nice thing about that was they got the ball in the hands of the guy they wanted to. He goes to the line. He's a great free throw shooter. Something like 84% from the free throw line. You make a couple free throws here, you set up some full court pressure, hopefully get a turnover, and you're right back in it in a matter of 5-10 seconds.
Berlowski has 12 points today. Not only does he shoot 86% from the line, he's a 59% field goal shooter, and a lot of those shots are from a little ways out. And he's not the only successful athlete in the family. His sister Jessica, a member of the 1991 Janesville Craig State Cross Country Championship team.
Picture perfect. That is a textbook example of how to shoot a free throw.
And he shoots 86%, but he goes to the line an awful lot, too, so that's no fluke. Ball out of bounds to Craig.
Another example of something that drives coaches crazy. You come all the way down the floor with a possession, and you don't get a shot off of it.
6:10 left, third quarter. 31-23, Milwaukee King. Karen Boom is double teamed. Finds Helbing.
What Milwaukee King will do is once you turn your back, the other defensive player from the backside will come and double team you. You don't even see him.
Berlowski has been yelling for a pick, and he finally got one, and now he'll get a shot that goes off the rim. Helbing has it back. Looking for Berlowski, but King's quickness steals it. McDuffie has it. 11 turnovers on Craig. Harrell. Block. Thrown. They'll give it to Craig.
Craig really needed that right now at this point. They did not need that margin to go back up to 10.
21, Deucer Slavin back in for Craig. 15, Afrashon Diedrich back in for King.
King has moved their defensive pressure to about a three-quarter pressure type situation now.
Karen Boom drives. Rebound, Berlowski.
That was just great. That was challenging the inside people, and Berlowski following up his teammates in this layup.
16 for Berlowski. I don't know if anyone expected Kieran Boom to shoot it. Blocking foul, number 55, Matt Engstrom.
Right now, Jay, both teams are going right at each other.
Jackson's quickness created this.
Well, that one's a tough call to make. Did he get it with the body, even though his hands were on the ball?
Yeah, that's the other side. We talked about how the players have so much to think about. The officials in a game with two quick teams like this have their hands full as well. Diedrich won't try three. McDuffie to Jackson.
Great example of getting the ball inside and then kicking it outside to your best shooter.
Play is stopped as the net was wrapped around the rim. 4:56 left now, third quarter. 33-25, Milwaukee King.
Now we've got full court pressure. Obviously, King would like to blow this open right now if they could.
Luther Slavin working against Afrashawn Diedrich. 11 is Matt Kierenboom. He's a senior. Engstrom is a senior, number 55. Berlowski gets a pick. And it's going to be a foul on Otto McDuffie. His second.
Not a real smart play. Berlowski was not in a scoring threat position. It was just a wasted foul as far as I was concerned.
Second team foul on Milwaukee King in the half. Janesville Craig with only one team foul. Berlowski's open now. Engstrom jumped too soon on the rebound, and McDuffie will get it. Actually, Curry was right up on Berlowski all of a sudden as he flew through the air. Inside for Curry now. Double team. King keeps it.
He was double teamed that time, and two other guys were on their way, so it was going to be a sandwich situation.
Kewan Simon back in.
One thing that Craig is definitely preventing is that King is not getting fast break baskets off of their rebounds. They're getting back real well.
Curry can't handle the pass off of McDuffie. Craig will keep it. We've been stuck on 33-25 for a little bit.
The last two trips down, King has just really concentrated on forcing it actually into the middle.
Jim Goss, the King coach, told us yesterday that if the score of the game were in the 80s, that would help Janesville Craig's chances. But if it's in the 50s, then King would be in good shape. And it looks like we're headed to the 50s, and King has an 8-point lead. Engstrom.
Get on it! Get on it!
Oh, and he threw it out of bounds. Slavin was cutting toward the basket, but Engstrom threw it behind him. 12 turnovers for King.
And again, the main reason for that happening was the defensive pressure. Pressure on the ball and pressure in the passing lane to the next nearest receiver. King does a great job of playing defense.
Todd Helbing in for Deucer Slavin. For the Cougars. Diedrich. Oh, that time he just threw it out of bounds.
Well, right now we're just trading turnovers here. We got an apple turnover for a cherry turnover, and the light bulbs aren't changing on the scoreboard.
We may burn a couple out there on so long, the same one.
Craig has to get a bucket here, though.
Berlowski gets it.
That's not only a bucket, that's the bucket with an extra point added on. He's a great shooter.
Tremendous. 19 for Berlowski. He shoots 49% from three-point range.
Janesville Craig had a little double-team action of their own in the half court here.
Diedrich tries it. Engstrom rebounds. Craig can cut it to three.
Diedrich just short-armed that one. It hit the front of the rim. He didn't have enough arc on his shot.
Oh, man. Foul on Eric Jackson, number 3. They're trying so hard to work a pick for Berlowski to free him up, and everybody got tangled up that time, and Berlowski fell to the floor, and because Jackson didn't give enough room to get by.
Well, and the nice thing is that you saw defensive pressure on the cutter, and you saw a nice offensive screen. So two good things were happening on that play.
Our state tournament coverage continues after these messages from our statewide sponsors, Marshfield Clinic and Menards. This is your WIAA network station.
Beautify your bath with remodeling ideas from Menards. Tub surround kits by Design House are on sale now. They're easy to install and easy to clean. This white trio tub surround is just $29.99. And add style with a mirrored medicine cabinet by Nautilus. Choose from traditional and contemporary styles on sale now, starting at just $9.99. Remember Menards for all your bath remodeling projects.
Save big money at Menards.
They is treated like number one. When a patient comes up there and wants their car parked, they park their car for them, go and get it again for them, if they can't walk. And if they don't know where to park, I see that they get on a shuttle bus, which is another nice thing that we have here at Marshall Clinic. You know what I call it? Curb-to-curb service. You know what? Excellent. It really is. Yeah, I really think we got the best service that any clinic could ever have in the United States. There's nothing better than the Marshall Clinic that I could see.
Truly has been a game of streaks. King went on a 13-0 run. Then Craig answered with a 19-3 run. King then with a 15-0 run. And now Janesville Craig has scored a 3-point basket to make it a 5-point game. There you see Janesville Craig coach Bob Suter and Milwaukee King coach Jim Goss. Really a contrast there as Suter has been coaching basketball at Janesville Craig for some 24 years, the last 6 as the head coach. And Jim Goss in his second year, if you can believe it, at King. And he has one state title, looking for a second.
And then we've got a lot of coaches sitting in the field house who have never been here and just dreaming about being in this situation.
Name one.
I'll pass. No comment.
Someday.
We hope.
Maybe. 2:45 left, third quarter. Helbing. Can Berlowski create a shot? Wow.
He not only created it, he converted on it. This is a nice little run now for Craig. They're back in it.
21 for Berlowski, and he still only has 2 fouls that he got very early in the first quarter. Can King answer? They look inside for Curry. Foul. Ryan Crone, number 53.
Again, now there's a situation where you have Jamie Harrell, who is a very good shooter, and including a 3-point shooter, giving up a shot to try and force it down around the basket.
Watch the fouls now as they inbound to Curry for 2. That's 3 fouls on Ryan Crone. Matt Engstrom has 2. Here's Crone. Lost it. Berlowski follows.
Great putback basket because he followed up.
23 for Berlowski. Foul, no.
If anybody thought that Janesville Craig was going to crack, I've got news for them. They're not.
And it was a foul, and it was a foul on Eric Jackson, number 4. Watch Berlowski.
There's the miss, and Ben follows it up.
Boy, and Eric Jackson is frustrated. 4 fouls on Eric Jackson.
Well, you just took some offensive scoring punch out of their lineup now, Jay.
Berlowski goes up. Foul, a 3-point foul. 3 shots coming for Berlowski as he fouled outside of the arc.
Well, in the first half, we saw him.
That's Harrell getting a hand on him.
In the first half, we saw Ben get fouled and make a 3-pointer. This time he got fouled, and now he's going to be rewarded with 3 free throws. I think it's a great rule. They should have probably passed it and put it into the rule book a year before they did. This is the first year for high school. They had it in college. And again, if Janesville had one player on the free throw line that they wanted, this is the man.
Remember, Berlowski played with Craig last year in their quarterfinal loss to Tulsa East. Then the Jacksons, Jim and Dave, were the focus attraction, but Berlowski played a good game that day too, and now he has come on to be the showcase player for Craig this year. Makes the second again. He'll get 1 more.
I thought maybe I jinxed him on that first one, but he's just too good a shooter. He's not going to miss more than 2 out of 10.
Yeah, even if you shoot 86, you got to miss one once in a while.
And we'll forgive him for that.
Berlowski has 13 points this quarter. It is a 1-point game. Milwaukee King still with the lead and the basketball with 1:45 left in the third quarter.
This is something uncharacteristic of Craig. They're playing a zone defense now, a 1-2-2.
And Curry's shot is rebounded by Berlowski. The Cougars can get the lead back. Helbing is wide open. He won't take it. Engstrom now. Here's Helbing. Good.
Oh, boy.
That's for 3.
Craig is back, folks.
First lead for Craig since 21-18. But here comes King. Curry missed. McDuffie over the back. What are they going to call? If it's on Berlowski, it's 3.
It is on Ben. Watch the position. Well, it looks like they may have 2 for a takedown on that play.
That's tough to get your arms taken off like that and get a foul, too.
I thought Ben had good position on that play.
Inbound to McDuffie. Tie game. A minute left, third quarter. Engstrom. Player possession foul. Player control.
Okay, there's an example. Matt didn't have to do that. All he had to do was go straight up, and he probably would have had 2 points. But when you get the ball down around the basket, most of the time, if you lean in toward the basket, that defensive player will foul you. Just poor judgment.
Foul number 3 on Engstrom. Crone has 3. Berlowski has 3 for Craig. Eric Jackson with 4 for Milwaukee King. Now, as you say, Bill, no surprise here as King pulls it out.
Well, this is something they do sometimes with 1 minute and 20 seconds every quarter. They'll pull it out and play for 1 shot. And they've got so many good players that it really doesn't matter who gets the ball with 4 or 5 seconds remaining in the game.
I think some of these guys are happy they get a chance to take a little rest here.
Well, they've been going up and down pretty good. Actually, what happens with this, if you think about it, in this sequence here, King could possibly score 4 to 5 to 6 points, and they're kind of helping Craig in this situation. They keep Craig in the ball game.
Again, 6 seconds, the magic mark. That's when they'll start making things
Here
happen.
it comes.
Here it is. Harrell. Oh, nice play by Engstrom to knock it out of bounds. Now you have the ball inbound with 2.6, and your options aren't quite as many.
Well, 2.6 with the ball underneath your basket is a lot of time, though. Kind of crowded around the basket.
Kewan Simon block. Todd Helbing. Well, a few more options just went out the window with a second left.
Well, they're going to get 2 shots here with less than 3 seconds on the clock.
That's Harrell. It'll bounce, but it's off the rim. 8 minutes remaining. Tie game. We'll return after these messages from your local station. This is your WIAA network station.
When you buy a high-quality Comfort Maker furnace or air conditioner, you get superb home comfort. And something more. High energy efficiencies that could mean big savings on your utility bills. Day after day, month after month, year after year. Comfort Maker. All the comforts of home.
In Sun Prairie, contact Service Specialists Incorporated. In Madison, contact Heating and Cooling Incorporated. Or in Windsor, contact A. Windsor Sheet Metal.
It's a big time of the year for Ayers Furniture. It's Spring Preview 92, and all the furniture manufacturers are displaying their new models. Bedroom, living room, dining room, carpets, mattresses. 50,000 square feet of beautiful home furnishings are on sale through March at Ayers. Buy today, take June to pay. Plus, Ayers will throw in free delivery. Ayers is well worth the drive because they have the lowest guaranteed prices in southwestern Wisconsin. And even better is Ayers Spring Preview 92 now through March. Ayers Furniture, just west of Madison on Highway 18151 in Ridgeway.
It's time now, fans, for a defensive clinic. Your instructor is number 15, Todd Helbing.
Watch Todd come and time his jump, leap, got his hand on the ball, saved a possible basket.
And then King tried to inbound with a second left, but they didn't get any kind of shot off. And it is now tied at 37 as King has the first possession of the fourth quarter.
Who would have thunk it, Jay?
Oh, Jackson is back. And how?
Well, that's no surprise. He's a great shooter, and if you're not up on him, he's going to can those.
Jackson has 12 points.
One thing that is a surprise is the rebounding right now. It's even at 19. I don't think people expected Craig to stay with King on the board.
Berlowski has it against Harrell. Now McDuffie takes over. Here's Helbing. Crone with a big rebound for Craig. Gets it to Engstrom. Lost it. Look at him fight. Jackson has it for the Generals.
If that were rugby, Jay, I think you'd call it a scrum, don't you? Boy, there was an example of 2 sequences of very quick hands. Nobody was sure who had the ball in their possession. Now it's King's turn to be a little bit more deliberate and get the shot they want.
We've played a minute of the fourth quarter. 40-37 King. Curry, too deep. No, missed it.
Ryan just overlaid it a little bit. Hit the back end of the rim. Obviously, Craig has got to come down here with an answer.
Engstrom has it. Thrown with a nice move. Got it. What a play.
Great fake. The ball fake created the shot for him.
And Curry was thinking to squat it in the first row, but it didn't happen. Travel